Annika, it's been way too long. We were
I
just talking
know.
about this before we started the interview, and the first time we saw each other. What were you saying? The first time we actually talked was.
It was at the Drake in Toronto, and I want to say it was like 4 years ago,
You're
maybe.
probably right. Yeah,
Yeah. So it seems like a lifetime ago. That was one of Leaving Thomas's first shows, and you were one of our first interviewers ever. So it was a really exciting moment, and now it's fun to be here again.
and it was exciting for me too because you guys were amazing, which is why probably a lot of fans are going, "Ah, what's going on here? There
I
are
know.
changes happening." So let's jump right into it. What is going on? Because you are now a solo act.
I know. Brighton and I had a wonderful run and an amazing time being duo partners. We are still really good friends. We started off as friends, we ended as friends. It was just one of those things where I think the ages of between 22 and 26, I think was Brighton's age. A lot can change. He got married. He started a business that he fell in love with, and he just found that he couldn't do both, and so he had to follow his heart. And I, as his friend, fully supported him, but certainly miss him in times like these on release days or shows. I miss having my buddy, my partner in crime. So he's been so supportive of me, which is so great, but I do miss him for sure.
We all do miss him. But I'm just curious though, even though when you guys were together and doing so well, was there ever any thought of yourself going, there might be at one point in time I might want to do something on my own?
I think we would often looked at Lady Antebellum, who
Yeah.
kind of been able to do stuff together, and then they had solo projects, and it never really entered my mind when I was in Leaving Thomas because things were going so well and it was just so enjoyable. That wasn't necessarily on my mind. However, I had a solo career before Leaving Thomas, so when Leaving Thomas ended, I really did see myself getting back into it. So it took about a year to figure out what I was going to do, and now here we are. And I'm happy that I'm still in country and still with a lot of the same people.
So let's talk about that. So here you are, you've realized, okay, I'm going to be a solo act, but then the pandemic, of course, is taking over the world. So what is that like for you emotionally and professionally when all of this is going on at the same time?
Yeah, in a way, it was a blessing in that Leaving Thomas did its final show January of 2020. So we were able to have a proper send off, and then yeah, the world changed. So I spent a year writing basically because we couldn't do anything. So in that way, it was great. But I thought it would be over. I kept on saying, "Oh, I'll release the songs when this is over, when this is over," and then it is still going on. So we took the approach of, you know what, we just have to release this anyway. I can't wait for 5 years or however long this is going to take to be doing live shows again. So we released it we released my first song when I was about 8 months pregnant. I also had a baby this year. So there's just been so much happening.
Wait a second. Hold
Yeah.
on here. I love how you swing that in there. Can you go back to what you just said so I can say congratulations on
Oh,
that?
thank you. Yes, I had a baby on July 12th. So I have a 2-month-old son.
Okay, so let's add to all this now. We've got,
Yes.
we realize we're going to be a solo act. We have a pandemic going on,
Mhm.
and you are becoming a mother. So let's go
Yes.
back to what I said, the emotional part.
Yeah,
What is
it's been
that
a
like?
roller coaster for sure. Like I think it's kind of there are positives and negatives because the fact that I wasn't expected to do live shows or fly across the country to do interviews or press tours allowed me to have a baby while also releasing music. And so it was kind of magical in that way. I will say at this point I am ready to do live shows. Like I'm missing it. I'm wanting to do it. I'm ready to, put my son in a little baby carrier and travel the country doing shows. Right now I can't do that. But yeah, it's been a trip for sure. And I'm just thankful that we live in a world now where with social media and with the way that music is shared around the world, you can still do that during a pandemic. So we've really focused on the writing and the recording aspect of music right now because we just can't plan in terms of live shows as much as we've tried. It's impossible with these changing restrictions all the time. So we're doing what we can.
I gotta tell you one thing. For me, Zoom has been heavenly sent for me, not having to run around and setting up and tearing down.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of people have realized a lot of things in their line of work that it actually works better in some aspects. And I can imagine interviewing is a perfect example.
So here's the thing. With all of this going on, did that change your perspective in how you would be writing music? So, in other words, if these things didn't happen, would your music have been different?
100%. I think what's really cool about writing my own music is that it's literally a time capsule of whatever I was kind of going through at that point in time. So since having the baby, we've written songs about being parents and having a child, because I write a lot with my husband, and who's also my producer. So we're all very involved in the music situation, and I wrote a lot more romantic songs and less breakup songs because I'm happily married, not just married, but happily married. And I wanted to release songs not 7 years later after I'd written them. I wanted them to still feel like I was in that place. And so Encore is a great example. It's totally a romance song, and the B side of the single is another romantic song that I'm singing at my sister's wedding 3 weeks from now. So it's all very relevant to my world right now, which is really exciting.
Okay, we're going to get back to this new single, but there's another question
Yeah.
I want to ask though. What was the recording process like, especially because with the pandemic? Sometimes you can go to studios, sometimes you can't, sometimes you can, but you only allowed two people. You got to wear
I know,
masks.
I know. We were very fortunate that we recorded a lot of the songs in August of 2020, which being at OCL Studios in Alberta, we were able to, socially distance because the studio was big enough. We didn't have to do everything separately. And then I recorded a lot of my vocals in my own house, actually, because
Oh,
again, people get creative, a lot of them were recorded in kind of a closet that we made into a little mini vocal booth in our house. And we recorded a lot of the album there, which is kind of cool.
so let's get to it. New single, but not just a new single, it's a duet. And it's a
Yeah.
duet with one of the biggest Canadian country artists that we have going on right now. Tell us what the new single is, who this artist is, and what it's all about.
So the new single is called Encore, and it's a duet with Brett Kissel, who, as you said, is just an amazing artist in Canada, and also from Alberta. And he's someone that I have looked up to for a long time. I've gone to his shows as a listener, and then I sang backup for him once um, at a big show that he did. But it was a bunch of people singing backup, and then he had Leading Thomas come on stage a few times with him before. So I've had little snippets of getting to perform with Brett Kissel. And so when we decided to make this song a duet, obviously he was who I thought of, but I honestly never thought he'd say yes. I thought this guy has so much going on. He has his own music career. He's got his vodka company. He's got his family. He does not have time to do a duet with me. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to swing for the fences. Like, here we go. I asked him over email. He responded within 10 minutes with an enthusiastic yes. He fell in love with the song. And I was floored, and I still am floored when I hear the song, because our two voices together, I just
Yeah.
think was a duet that needed to happen. And I'm glad that it happened. And he and I were just talking today about how we can't wait until we can sing it live. But until then, we're just glad it is out in the world. And I'm just still kind of shocked that, yeah, I have a song out with Brett Kissel, but I do.
What's the song about?
The song is about that kind of intoxicating moment when you're just falling for someone, and as much as you say we should slow down, you just can't. You just want one more, whether it's a drink or a kiss. It's just like you just want more of this person. And of course,
Hungry.
being performers, we thought Encore was a great hook.
I love that. Absolutely love that. And especially because, as you said, it was you and your husband wrote it?
So me and my husband wrote it with two other Alberta writers and one person in Nashville, again, because of the
Okay.
power of Zoom. So there you go.
There you go. Exactly. So you kind of mentioned it before, but I'm going to ask again, this upcoming album, what's it going to feel like? What's it going to be about?
Yeah, so this album is definitely a bit more of an introspective, softer album, and less kind of I would say, less poppy and more singer-songwriter than Leaving Thomas was. I think Leaving Thomas, I was in my early 20s, and those songs reflected that time in my life. Now, being a mom, being married, you know, I'm not boring, but I just have a bit more of a different side to show, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think fans will get to know me on a different level. And the songs so far have shown kind of that more mature and yeah, I think introspective is the best word to describe it, side of me.
Because you're a mom, any chance that either A, you'll do a children's album, or B, maybe even a couple of Christmas singles as the holidays are slowly coming up?
You know, people have asked me about a children's album for several years now, actually, because I do love children's music, and it's funny what you end up singing to your child. I sing a lot of Motown because I worked on cruise ships for a long time and just fell in love with Motown, having to sing all those songs, but also grew up listening to Motown. So I've thought about making like children's versions of Motown classics.
Shh, oh wait, shh, I don't
I
want to
know,
say anything else before somebody else steals that idea,
I
which
was
is
gonna say,
amazing.
but so things are brewing. You know, you never know. It probably will be a bit different than a typical children's album, but I have thought about it because those are such special songs that you sing to your kids, and I want to remember that.
Is there going to be time for you for performances? Are you getting out there on stage with, festivals or anything?
So I actually have a show before and oh my goodness, less than 2 weeks. It's a Songwriter Round, which I'm so excited about because I miss Songwriter Rounds, and I'm so excited to get to share songs that haven't been released yet. And I always love sharing songs in their most pure, raw form. I had big plans for a show in October, but with restrictions, it's just not going to happen yet. So we're going to postpone that. But that's okay because I've said the longer we wait, the more people will be singing along in the audience because they'll know
There you
more
go.
songs. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, Encore is out now.
It's absolutely out now. Go stream it, download it, whatever you can do. Listen to it to your heart's content.
And when do we think the album's going to be coming out?
So the album is being released in two EPs, side A, side B. Side A will be released before the end of the year, and then side B will be 2022.
Does that mean there might be even vinyl available?
Yes, we are doing vinyl.
Ah,
So I love that vinyl is coming back. That makes me so happy because I've had a record player for years, and it's very cool to have modern day artists on vinyl. So we will be doing a vinyl for the deluxe album.
looking forward to it. I gotta say, with everything being so tough for a lot of people, I love hearing these stories of success. It gives people hope. As we are dealing with this stage 4, any advice that you want to give folks to help them stay focused on their goals and where they want to be and not fall into that muddy, ugh.
Yes, it can be very difficult.
Mhm.
I think one thing is focus on things you can control. I think if you spend too much time worrying about the things that are out of your control, you will go crazy. So focus on what you control. Focus on who you're surrounding yourself with. Surround yourself with the people that matter to you, the people that support you and can encourage you in your whatever your quest is right now, even if you've had to change it because of the pandemic. And three, appreciate what you can from this time. I know there's a lot of negatives about it, but try to find one or two things that the pandemic has been helpful to you, whether that's giving you a forced focus because you can't do a lot of other things, or spending time with the ones you love. Whatever you can do to find that silver lining, as tough as it can be sometimes.
Amen to all of that. I got to say, not just thank you for doing this interview, but we got to do another interview soon because I feel like if I don't talk to you, you're going to end up like, I don't know, maybe more kids
I was
or
gonna say
like,
next time you see me, I'll say I have 5 kids
yeah,
now, and I've started 4 businesses and released
yeah.
8 records. We've got to be in touch more often, Rudy.
Exactly. Look, say hello to the husband for me. Give the
I
little one
will.
a big hug for me
I
too.
will.
Congratulations and all this. And cross fingers the next time we do get a chance to talk. I got my double shots. Maybe we can do this in person.
That would be amazing. I would love that. Thank you so much.